Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go over flipping cars on Facebook for profit as like a side hustle. It's something I did for the best part of about a year and a half. You can definitely make some extra income doing it. There's a few things you need to know. So stick around because I'm going to go over sort of like your budget, how to list the cars for sale, how to find good deals on Facebook. Just sort of whether or not I still think it's worth getting into or trying to do. So I had the most success with cars that were roughly in the range of like sort of 800 to 1400 pound. I sort of stuck to certain sort of make of cars. I sold a lot of Fiat Puntos, Ford Fiestas. See, you want to find cars that someone that has listed it and they just want to get rid of it, and it might have a few problems like indicators and wipers and things like that. Just jobs that you can do, and even if you don't have someone that's a mechanic, you can just learn to do yourself. That are pretty simple stuff to change, because a lot of people will have just bought a brand new car and they've got this old banger that in their eyes is an old banger, and they think I'll just sell it cheap for 800 quid or £1,000, and you can always knock people down on the price as well. And also the advantage that you'll have when you go to sell cars on Facebook over other people is people who list cars are just 9 times out of 10, they're just idiots. Like, they'll list it, say, and they'll put in the description, car for sale, 750 quid. They won't put anything like MOT, how long's an MOT it's got, service history, like even sometimes how many miles it's done, etc., etc. So that can be a massive advantage in this, doing this as a side hustle, which is what I realized when you're going to sell the car. The advantage you're going to have is when you go to list the car that you're selling, trying to flip for more money, is in the detailed description, you want to put, like it's still insured so people can test drive it. It's got like how long MOT it's got, like service history, good clean car, like putting all these things in the description, the mileage, like, someone's going to look at that and think, well, like this is someone that's easy to deal with. The amount of times I've messaged someone and be like, is this still available? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, can I come view it? And they just won't even reply. So you will have to deal with a lot of people that are time wasters. But that also gives you, like I said, the advantage that when you're trying to sell cars, and you'll be making sure that you're really reliable, like, you'll go give time out of your day to go and like show this person the car, replying like politely and stuff, because I have had people be rude, just me trying to view the car. So there's that element to it. So you could go for cars that are like 300-400 quid, but a lot of time they're going to need a lot of work doing to them, but there can be a lot of profit in that. You might have a car that needs a new clutch, and like I know my dad's bought a car for like 300 quid that needed a clutch, and because like I said, he's a mechanic, he put a new clutch on it, and then the car he sold for like 1,400 quid, whereas it only cost him like 300 quid to do it. So you can make quite a lot of profit doing it like that. But like I said, if you're not a mechanic or you don't know anyone that would do it cheaply or just get a bit of profit off of you when you sell the car, it's going to cost you quite a lot of margin to fix these proper sort of rundown cars. So I would stick to cars that are in between sort of 800 and the 1,400 pound range. That's where I had the most success. But I did come unstuck when I bought, I sort of did an impulse buy. There wasn't anything on the market for a while, and I was just so sort of eager to keep going with this side hustle that I ended up buying this Fiat Punto, which was 700 quid. And I kind of knew it was a bad apple when I looked at it, but because I hadn't found anything for a few weeks on Facebook, I was being impatient and I bought it, and it ended up being terrible on the emissions when I tried to get it through an MOT. If I'd got it through an MOT, it would have been nearly double what I paid for it, I reckon. But that said, we spent so long, my dad spent so long trying to get that through on the emissions test. And the emissions test, if you can't get it through, that's it, it's a dead car more or less. Eventually we did after like the third try, but you can very quickly lose a lot of your profits. Like I'd made over £1,000 in a few months just flipping cars. But then this one car that I bought for 700 quid, all of a sudden is very quickly becoming like a car that I can't sell and gonna have to scrap. And scrap value for cars is, like 150 quid at best sometimes. So you do want to be careful. And Definitely don't hold on to cars for any longer than what you need. Like if you literally buy a car on a Saturday, there's nothing to say you can't sell it the next Saturday when you've got all the V5 logbook for it and all of that. So definitely don't hold on to a car longer than what you need to. Most cases, people are going to be selling cars undervalued anyway because they just want them gone. And yeah, you know, it can definitely still be done. If we go on Facebook right now and we scroll through, I'll put in the search bar like the maximum price I want to pay, which is like 1,200 quid. You can already see that there's a Ford Fiesta here that's up for like £600. It's already been put down from 700 quid, so they're just eager to get rid of it. It probably might need a bit too much work doing, but this would be something that I would be interested in and go for. And you know, maybe it doesn't need that much work. They just haven't really listed what, you know, in the description, maybe what it does need doing. But this is just an example. But yeah, overall, it's 100% a good little side hustle to do if you've got plenty of space and you've got a budget of, you know 1,500 quid you can start with. I personally wouldn't go any higher than that, because if you do end up buying a dead car that you've paid like £2,000 for, you know, then there's a lot of money you're lost. You know, if you start buying cars for like 900 quid and then you do end up buying one that you're not making profit on, or you have to end up scrapping, you know, you're only going to lose like 700 quid down the line. You know, I have had it where I've bought cars for 700 quid and I've sold them for 1,400 quid a week later. I've been quite lucky like that. And it has basically come down to the fact that when I list it, you know, I'm putting all these things like the cam belt's been done, full service history, MOT, like, you know, how long it's got on the MOT. You know, I've been driving it, it's a reliable car, and like it really just helps with the sale. And because no one else lists cars like that, hardly ever, you know, you're already going to be a step ahead in the game. But yeah, that's basically like my experience of flipping cars. If you're looking as a side hustle, I absolutely recommend it because it definitely does work and you can make some extra cash. Just be careful not to be caught out with being impatient, trying to find like a bargain after you've just found one. You sort of keep the ball rolling, you might end up just being impatient and buying the wrong one. But yeah, just do your due diligence when you're looking at these cars, and you can always get people down on the price. So yeah, so it's a really good side hustle. Looking to try and make some extra income outside your job, you can definitely, if you learn enough about it and get just useful at solving little problems on cars, little things that people will just think, oh, that's going to cost me too much money, that it might only cost you like 50 quid to fix. Just, you can YouTube pretty much how to fix cars anyway. So yeah, I hope this video helped if you've been thinking of getting into doing it, or it's just giving you some sort of perspective on it. And I will see you in the next one.